Welcome to episode 74 of Cougs on Cougs. I'm Jess, here with Mary, and fall camp starts today.
Yes.
Finally. It's been a long summer.
Seriously.
We are here. We are going to get right into football this week after our quote of the week.
Yes, which comes from Lou Holtz. Very fall camp appropriate. It says, "No one has ever drowned in sweat."
Good luck out there today, guys.
Yes, Jess noted that it will be quite hot. So they report today, I think practice starts tomorrow. We'll pray for like a storm to roll in or something. Pray for moisture. It's a very Mormon thing to do, right?
Yeah, sure.
So we are going to get right into football. This is kind of our fall camp preview. It's hard to do a fall camp preview because I feel like fall camp is a preview in itself.
Right.
So all we can really talk about is what we hope to see.
Yeah, what we might see out of it.
We have no idea what we will see, and that's why it's so fun. So
exciting.
Plan on us being football heavy again next week, and we'll actually have like concrete stuff to talk about. But these are just kind of our musings about what we hope to see. So we did crowdsource this a little bit, and we saw all of you liking that tweet and none of you answering our questions. So
Thanks a lot, guys.
Thanks, but no thanks. But we did ask some of our other Vanquish the Foe writers what they hope to see, and let's share some of those before Jess and I share our own.
Yep, Robbie Combs told us he's interested to see what coaches say about Molangi's role this year, if he's going to have a role at all.
That's the question, I think. Is he?
I don't know. I mean, Robbie pointed out in his article that Mo has never played football, and he missed spring ball, and he's only been on campus for a couple months, I think.
Yeah.
So it's very possible he will not be playing this year.
But he's a big body, so if they want to put him in for some short yardage plays, like,
good luck.
it maybe wouldn't be the worst thing.
Yeah.
So, I'm excited about that too. And then we had Marcus Russell, one of our writers, who asked a question that I think is on everybody's mind. Which playmakers will emerge around Tanner? When you talk about the offense, you're pretty much mostly talking about Tanner. There's been a little bit of talk about running back, a little bit of talk about wide receiver, but it's mainly question marks. But I think in fall camp we will see, Tanner's favorite targets, so to speak.
Yeah, I mean, I think your leading receivers coming back is going to be Jonah. He's going to be your main target, but we all know from last year it was kind of hit or miss with Jonah a lot. So that will be really interesting to see how he actually does in fall camp, if they've developed that connection and if he really is the go-to guy.
And speaking of Tanner, I mean, how different of a quarterback is he from Taysom? So I think that fall camp will be just a lot different than it was last year. And I think another interesting thing, how different will Ty Detmer's offense be because you're dealing with Tanner instead of Taysom? Obviously, they're going to keep a lot of that under wraps so that our opponents don't know all our secrets. But I hope that we'll see a little bit into, how much the offensive game is going to change due to the quarterback switch.
And hopefully a lot more of the tight end position. We saw glimpses of it last year, here and there, particularly towards the end of the season. I thought you saw it a little bit more.
You did.
But this year you've got Moroni, Olupatutau, who's moved over to tight end.
Yeah.
You've got Tanner Baldery, who had a really good spring showing.
And a really good year last year, too.
Mm-hmm.
And then Matt Bushman is the one that is a freshman, but that everyone is just the one that people were comparing to Chad Lewis before he even played a snap.
I think he had like a 70-yard touchdown catch in the spring game.
Yeah, and I think you're right. So we saw last year a little bit how Ty wanted to use the tight ends. I don't think that that's a thing that will change under Tanner. I think that that's a thing that will continue under Tanner. So you're right. We'll see who's going to be your number one there. Is it going to be Moroni after he switches positions? Is it going to be Tanner, your guy who was there last year? In my opinion, that's kind of who I think it should be.
And I would love to see, it's always great to have one go-to guy and all that, but I'd love to see that spread around to a whole bunch of different guys.
Speaking of really spread around, we talked a little bit about running back, but let's touch on that a little more because, like we said, everything on offense besides Tanner is kind of a question mark. So running back by committee, or what do you hope to see from the running backs?
I'm hoping that at the end of fall camp, we'll have an idea of who your main running back is going to be.
Okay.
Right now, I mean, the main ones you've got Squally Canada, of course. He kind of stepped in for Jamal while he was hurt in a few games last year and played quite a few minutes.
Yeah, he did.
You've got a new guy, Ula Tolotau, he's the one that committed to Wisconsin before his mission, is back, and he should be competing pretty hard for a spot. And then you've got KJ Hall, who did pretty well at the end of the season. Maybe not against great competition, but he's a smaller guy, could probably be used in third down situations pretty well. So, and then you've got some other guys. You've still got Trey Dye, Riley Burt back there. So, I don't know. I'm excited to see the new guy, see how he does.
Yeah, I think that is one thing I'm excited to see out of fall camp because there has been a lot of buzz surrounding him, and this will really be a chance to see if he's going to live up to that hype. And we can hope that he does, because it's nice to have a running back who can kind of carry the load. And obviously, everyone's quite worried about that with Jamal Williams.
And let's be honest, you probably need 2 or 3 guys to replace what Jamal did last year.
Absolutely. So by committee wouldn't be the worst thing, but we will see about that. I know Jess was heartened. We recommend reading all of the position group previews on Vanquish the Foe. That is the best way to get prepped for fall camp, because they do a really good job. They say who you're expecting to see, who's at each position, the newcomers that you should be looking for. Really informative, and will really help you be an educated fall camp spectator.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I think the one you're alluding to is the corners. That's when I was looking at all the names at cornerback and realizing on each side you've got probably at least 3 deep guys that I'm comfortable with, that have good experience. I think they all can do pretty well. I'm fairly comfortable if any one of those guys gets in the game, that they're going to know what they're doing. And Coach Guilford's great.
He is great, and they love him.
We'll have them ready.
Speaking of depth, we were talking about the lines, both the offensive and defensive, and I think that we both feel really, really good about the defensive line, especially. You've got experience, you've got a lot of seniors and juniors on that defensive line, and you've got talent. I mean, you've got Corbin Kafusi, who I honestly expect to see a kind of change in him now that he really has put basketball on the back burner. So I think that we'll see a different and more improved Corbin than we saw last year, and he made some great plays last year. Who else have we got on the line? Sione Takitaki.
He's back.
Not enough people are talking about his return, but I think that will change.
Yeah, I mean, he's a big deal. He's a big, he had some really incredible plays when he played 2 years ago.
He's explosive.
He is. Under Bronco, I think he finished 21 tackles, 7.5 tackles for loss, 3.5 sacks. So he can make big plays. And I think with him and Corbin at that same defensive end position, I think you probably expect them to hold that down pretty well. And then you look over at the tackles, and you've got almost all seniors coming back. So you've got Kesney Tausinga, handsome, Tanielu, and then you've got Tavita Monga, who's a junior. But all 3 of those guys, big, strong.
And I know we've heard Handsome say that he really wants to live up to the hype. So I expect to see kind of a different Handsome this year too. He had, he had a good season last year, but a relatively quiet one. So I wouldn't be surprised if he made a little bit more noise. So, I mean, there's a lot to be excited about, and I think we've touched on several things. It's not too late to answer our Twitter question, even though we can't talk about it on the show now. But keep it coming before our first practice on Thursday, what you're excited about.
One other thing to mention on that offensive line, we have 4 or 5 starters back.
Yes.
So maybe another thing to think about is who's going to emerge as that 5th starter in that spot.
Yes, something to definitely keep an eye on. We'll see who's going to emerge as the leaders in general. We know we talked about Fred and Tanner as captains, but maybe we'll see who's really going to emerge in those roles in fall camp. So much to be excited about. Plan on us getting into the nitty-gritty next week when there is actual things that have happened.
Talk of the town this week, starting with a number change for Troy Warner.
I didn't like this. I don't know why, but I got really attached to 11 for Troy, so this is hard for me.
You do get attached to numbers.
I do.
He's now number 1. So number 11, he just dropped one of those ones.
I can see why he would want to be number 1.
He's number 1. Do you think he laughs at Fred now because he's like, I have a lower number than you now?
Yeah, I guarantee he does, actually.
That's probably the only reason he did it.
Speaking of Fred, he can't laugh at him too much because the NFL, yes, the NFL, listed the top 10 linebackers in college football this year, and Fred Warner is number 9. Some more well-deserved recognition for him.
It says Warner stands out due to the amount of time he spends playing in space against pass-happy offenses on the BYU schedule. So, yeah, I mean, those are some big names on the schedule, and I expect Fred to have an impact in some of those games.
Oh, absolutely. That's all we've got in Football Talk of the Town. We did spend a big chunk of time on football. We need them to tweet more.
Yeah, I think it's been pretty quiet leading up to fall camp. I've been surprised.
I'm sure we'll have a lot more next week.
So, anyway, basketball news. This is a big one.
Yeah, we have quite a bit of, there's not a lot of basketball news to talk about, but it's some big things.
First of all, Jimmer Fredette has agreed to a 2-year deal with the Shanghai Sharks, so he is heading back to China, which I'm pretty excited about for him. I mean, they love him over there. He's a huge star. MVP of the league last year, heading back to that team. I'm sure they'll make another deep playoff run. And yeah. I think it'll be great for him.
I mean, can I have some hashtag real talk? I was disappointed when I saw it because I'm never going to stop hoping that he gets the right opportunity. Well, actually, I think now I might stop hoping that he gets the right opportunity because he's getting older. He just signed this 2-year deal. I mean, anything can happen. But for me, this was kind of like the last chance for him to make it in the NBA, and he didn't. But it is interesting because our second thing, this is a tweet from Chris Mannix, who said that Jimmer had a partially guaranteed NBA offer, but he passed on it to return to China.
I'm not surprised by that.
Right.
I mean, I think Jimmer really enjoyed his time over there.
He enjoyed the time, and he enjoyed the playing time.
Right, the way he got to play. I mean,
he was the star of the team. Yeah, and that's all he's really, that's what he wants to be.
As much as you want to play in the NBA.
Yeah.
It's not a bad deal.
I mean, I think it's taken him this many years to realize that, you know, this fully guaranteed contract in China is better than the partial guarantee of the NBA.
It'll be interesting to see if he takes his family with him, too.
I know. He doesn't probably want to leave his baby for that long.
Yeah, so... in other signing news, Eric Mika signed with an Italian team. So Pesaro is where he will be playing. It's in the same league over in Italy that Jonathan Tavanari is playing in.
Of all of the leagues in all of the worlds, I just died laughing when I saw that because they're going to play each other. And I hope that Jonathan Tavanari's trash talk comes to fruition. I can't wait to see them face off.
Chip on his shoulder
I think they both will. So
I'm sure they'll trash talk.
I'm gonna try and catch that game like on YouTube or wherever it streams because it'll probably be awesome and worth it. But I think that move for Eric was another unsurprising one for us.
And I think he was excited about it.
Yeah, I mean he did okay with the Heat and Summer League, not well enough to get, I don't think, any kind of guaranteed contract anywhere. But from what we've heard, Italy, I mean, the NBA was option number 1, but Italy was kind of option like 1B. And, both his wife and him serve their missions there, so it'll be like going home in a way, and I think he'll do great.
Language. People are going to love him.
They're going to, of course they are. You'd be crazy not to.
There's nothing not to love about Eric Mika. Is that it?
Yeah, it's kind of a low-key talk of the town there.
I know. Pick it up, guys. We do still have BYU 50 going on. It's week 4 of this. There's still a few more weeks until the first game. So,
yes.
It's Wednesday now. So we've got Maryland today, and then Thursday's Massachusetts, Friday Michigan, Saturday Minnesota and Mississippi.
We are working our way through the states, which means we are getting closer to game day. And I think we do have lined up someone who won one of those to talk to us in a couple weeks after we get through fall camp. So that will be fun. Speaking of fall camp, as for what's next, they do report today, and the first practice is tomorrow. So it will be a really fun week and a half coming up here.
Yeah, excited to see what's going on every day. Also, Tom Hummel tweeted this out, the colors to wear to each game, so we will show this before every game, for sure, to remind you. We'll tweet it out as well. But first game, Portland State at home, is going to be Navy.
I just love that it's close enough that you can start planning what to wear.
And can we also say that is 1 month from today, August 26th.
That's all we have. As for our sponsors, our first sponsor is President Uchtdorf for always repping the Y. Mitch Harper tweeted, he said that at the Days of 47 parade for the Pioneer Day, President Uchtdorf was riding in a car and he threw up the Y when he saw a group of people decked out in Utes gear. People were requesting photos. He didn't have one, but the internet came through. Tanner Jacobson said, "Don't worry, Mitch, the internet works in mysterious ways." And there he is, throwing up the Y. It's amazing.
It's so great.
It's amazing.
I bet they were so mad.
I hope they were.
And then also brought to you by Tom Satake. Shout out to him for taking 50 shirts to Tonga with him so that the family in Tonga could rep the Y.
The world is our canvas.
That's pretty cool.
May you always stay loyal to the white and blue. For Jess, I'm Mary. We will see you next week.